just wondering, did everyone know about the session today? That so there was an email. Did anyone express their not coming? Okay. 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 So you're just wondering because I'm going. I'm gonna go. I'm not gonna stop. Okay. So again, no pressure. So the first skill, attending. What is attending? Attending is we're saying that I am with you, so I have to attend to you. I have to attend to the conversation that we're having together. It's paying attention to what the other person is saying. So it's showing the person that I am with you. And there are, how do we do this? So it's actively being present with the other person. In communication, how many aspects of exist for the communication? There is the verbal, and there are two other aspects. What are they? You know, non-verbal, the body language. So there is the tone and the body language. Our communication, just what I say, the weight on it in the communication is 7%. So probably from my presentation, the content that is going to be retained by you is 7%. Okay. 38% on the tone of voice. Am I yelling? Am I so monotonous? Am I so soft? The same thing with us, with when we are conversing with an adolescent, and 55% on the body language. How am I sitting with someone? How am I moving? Am I composed, or am I out of place? Am I anxious? Am I calm, relaxed? What kind of demeanor do I have talking with or sitting with an adolescent? So those are this is very helpful in attending and being with. There is an acronym that is called SOLAR. I'm not sure if you've heard about it before, that demonstrates aspect how to be with someone in a good attending way. So things to pay attention to. SOLAR meaning I'm sitting square. There is a difference if I am sitting with someone and I am sitting square versus I'm sitting and giving the person my side. How am I sitting with the person? Is there a desk between us, or there is a space? There is an open space between us. These things, believe it or not, they do make some difference. So sitting square. And is it an open posture or closed posture? Is it folded arms? I said I don't. Well, it could have many reasons. Maybe this is cold. Maybe the weather, the temperature is cold. So you know what? I'm warming myself, or you know what? I'm not ready. I'm taking my pace. That's okay. Those are very. It's not to judge, but it is to understand. It is to understand why. It's not to understand others only, but also myself. How am I sitting with someone? Is it with open posture, or you know what, I'm a bit closed off? So it's something to be aware about. How am I sitting with someone, and how is someone else sitting with me? Not in a judgmental way, but just to be aware about it and see what we can do with it. Is it leaning forward or leaning backwards? What does leaning backward mean? What does leaning forward mean? I'm present, I'm interested. Leaning backwards, okay. When are we gonna finish? Right? Maintaining an eye contact. So maintaining an eye contact, it means that, yes, I am with you and you are with me, but always gazing all around. Of course, it means that the more that I reduce my eye contact, it means I'm not really with. So we're trying to increase the factor. We're trying to be aware and increase the factors of being with someone when we are listening to them. or in a relaxed way, or in a tensed way, in a distracted way, in an agitated way. There are many ways other than the relaxed way. So those are things for me to be aware about me being with the adolescents. And it's also helpful to understand, where am I? Am I connecting or am not connecting? We're gonna see one of the videos where when the client is starts as closed off and starts to open. And so this is a sign for the person who is helping or counseling, is that the person is, you know what, changing some of the mood, receiving or not receiving, accepting or not accepting. So it's attending. It has to do, am I with you? Are you with me or not? Okay. So this is the first skill. And just a reminder, towards like next, I think it's next session, or on May 7th, I believe is going to be the last session, when we are going to be doing role plays. Okay, so you are going to be doing role plays with one another, and you're going to be evaluating one another based on these aspects. Okay, and of course we realize that these are aspects that we are learning, so it would become helpful, that it would be helpful if we are aware about them even when we are with everyone else, not just when we are in a certain context. Of course, in a certain context we need to heighten our awareness, but it would be helpful to be aware about it with in different contexts as well. The second aspect, the second skill is active listening. Active listening is the ability to understand the message being communicated and reflecting it back. I understand and I reflect it back. I could be attending, I could be sitting square, relaxed, open, leaning forward, but what you're talking about, I'm not getting. But how can I show you that I'm listening, that I'm really getting and understanding exactly what you are talking about? And this would require, first, encouragers. Yes, I am with you. Oh, really? Okay. Uh-huh. Nodding. Yes. Uh-huh. So it's helping the person to continue to talk. And with this, something that is not there is being able to paraphrase back, to reflect back, to take breaks. And so what you want to say is, so I understand that you're trying to say it. So I get it. Oh, so you want to say, oh, so this happened when this happened. So when you did this, your father, your mother did this, or your brother, your sister did this. So it's being able to reflect back to the person that I get or I understand, because I'm going to be waiting for a confirmation, for an affirmation. The person is going to say yes, or going to say not really, but this, and that's okay. It's not about getting it right from the first time, but it's about getting it right. It doesn't matter if it's the second, third, 100th time, but at least I need to be able to understand what the person is talking about. Because the other option would be assumptions. I would say, yeah, I assume, oh, I have faced this problem, and when I face this problem, this is what I experience. But we just talked about it. What my experience could be is different from what other person's experience. Just sharing that maybe I do not pass one of my courses, and to me, this is the end of the world because it has a certain meaning to me. And some other adolescent, when they do not pass, they're gonna have fun. It's okay, it didn't pass. I'm gonna take it again. I'm gonna pass. So there is a difference. So I might be somewhere in between. I might be, I don't care. I might be, this is the end of the world. So I cannot just go by my own experience and assumption. I have to understand the other person's experience. So this is understanding, attending, and active listening, actively listening and understanding and reflecting. That's why it's active. Active, it's not passive. It's not just I'm listening. I'm listening and I am showing the other person, this is my understanding. Is this correct or not? Obstacles to active listening. Active listening is one of the very challenging skills in our communication in our community, because sometimes we have what is called selective listening. I could listen to a story and one aspect of the story I can focus on. So I focus on this, and I can take this as the problem. Or I can take this as, well, this is the solution, or this or that. So sometimes I focus selectively because of my, maybe I'm interested in this area, or I know how to solve this, or I'm not interested for whatever reason. So sometimes we have selective listening. So that's why I need to paraphrase back. Show, is it this that is the issue? No. Or that is the issue? Yes, this is it. Another obstacle is distracted listening, internally or externally. A common external distraction, this, this, ah, external, or some noise, like when we started, there was a noise. So this was a distraction. We needed to close off. We needed to close the door so that we're not distracted. So those are external, and some could be, oh, what am I going to do after this meeting? Where am I going to go? What's going to be the dinner? What's going to be the food? What's going to be the outing? So those are, what am I going to do in this problem? What am I going to do at home? What am I going to do at school? So those could be internal distraction, and I need to be aware about them because they would impact me being as an active listener. Dismissive listening. Oh, this is not an issue. Oh, come on, this is something silly. This is something trivial. It should not be an issue, right? Or I am listening and I'm preparing a rebuttal. Active listening, I am listening and I'm preparing what? Paraphrase. When I am preparing my paraphrase of what you said, I am really actively engaged in this discussion. And that's why it is recommended to paraphrase kind of frequently, not wait for an hour conversation or listen for an hour and then paraphrase. But I need to listen for a minute or two max and paraphrase. And hopefully we're able to focus on a particular point. So this is for active listening. Let us go through a video that is a role play. So it's like a counselor at a university counseling an adolescent, and he's using these skills. So let's see how we can pick up on the skill, and maybe, like, so there are two scenarios or three scenarios. The first one we're just gonna go through it كده quickly. The second one I'm gonna pause and ask you to paraphrase. ايه رأيكم? Sounds good? Let's go. So this is the title of the vignette or this is a of the video, the role play. No audio yet, so just read.
I'm in a really difficult situation at the moment. that's just causing conflict in all areas of my life. I don't mean actual conflict, but in terms of what I'm up against. Basically, I've been at university for 2 years, and I started going out with this white guy, and I'm not actually allowed to. And if my family found out, I'd be in such big trouble.
It's a very difficult situation. You're at college, and you start going out with a white guy. If your parents found out, you'd be in trouble.
Yeah, and the worst thing.
Did you notice what just happened? What did you notice? Yes, she said yes. So this is the yes that we want. So yes, meaning that, yes, I understand. Did you notice a potential selective listening that could have happened here?
Like he focus on one aspect, like you're in college, you should focus on studying.
Exactly, and this would be parents' attitude, but she's coming not for this. Another aspect, she's brown dating a white guy, so someone from a different culture. So those are the things that for us, maybe they could be some triggers for us. So this is where potentially we could be diverted. So I have to make some effort to stay with what she wants. She's not here for me to judge her. She's not here for me to, I'm just listening and going along with trying to understand what is the problem. And as you can see, he's sitting square, he's nodding, he is taking time, making eye contact and paraphrasing. Okay.
About it is just last week I had to go back home. We had this family thing, and they didn't tell me, but when I got back, they'd actually arranged for me to meet this person that they'd ideally like me to get married to, and that was really, really tough.
So you came back, and they actually arranged for you to meet someone. That was really quite tough.
Yeah, really tough. I mean, it's so hard because it brings up such conflicting feelings, because I feel like I need to be loyal to my family, but in being loyal to them, I'm denying my own self-happiness, and I feel really trapped in it all.
So on one,
Can we give it a try to paraphrase this? What she said last? You want me to repeat it? Let's repeat it. So what are we trying to focus on when we are listening? Three main things: feeling, actions, thinking. Right? So those are the three aspects that we're trying to listen to. So those are the three categories. What are the feelings that she's talking about? What kind of mindset? What are the thoughts and actions resulting from feelings and behavior? So those are the three things we're trying to listen for, to be able to paraphrase back. So this is, and meaning, of course, which is what is the meaning of this experience, okay?
and they actually arranged for you to meet someone. That was really quite tough.
Yeah, really tough. I mean,
so they arranged to meet action, and that was quite tough feeling, right?
just it's so hard because it brings up such conflicting feelings, because I feel like I need to be loyal to my family, but in being loyal to them, I'm denying my own self-happiness, and I feel really trapped in it all.
So on one hand,
would like to give it a shot? Well, what did you say?
Why not?
Why not? Let's go.
So you're saying you're having conflicting, like conflicting direction or feelings in your mind. One is to be loyal to your family, and the other one is to work towards your own happiness or figure out what makes you really happy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very good. Very good. So you've highlighted the confusion and the two ways that is causing confusion. Any other way?
Yeah, on one side, she wants to stay loyal to her family.
Mm-hmm.
On the other side, she feels like, um, I can't remember the word she like against her will or
Her happiness. Mm-hmm.
let's say feel trapped.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Feeling trapped. Exactly. This is another feeling. So the confusion between the two ways makes her feel trapped. So it means that this is giving me a sense of her experience that she wants to do both at the same time, and they are both conflicting. Right? Any other? Let's go on, and then we'll do the next one. So each side does one round.
Feel loyal to your family. But on the other hand, you want to feel loyal, but you also feel trapped
Yeah,
with the situation.
yeah, trapped and actually quite sad because I mean I don't even know.
As you're noticing, just by reflecting back, did he solve anything? But is there anything that is happening while he's reflecting back, paraphrasing back?
Better describe the problem.
She's more aware. She better describes the problem. It is like, what do we do, each of us in the morning? What do we look at? We look in the mirror. Why? To see ourselves and to see what needs to be fixed, corrected, right? Do I need to brush my hair? I don't need to brush my hair. Whatever, do I need to wash my face? I do not need to wash my face, right? So just by virtue of reflecting back, he is acting like a mirror to her. And just by acting as a mirror, this is helping her make sense of some of her feelings and experiences, right? So she described as confused and trapped. And right now she's saying, sad, I'm actually sad. So I'm actually, meaning I am coming to a realization. As I'm listening to this, I'm feeling actually sad. And she's going to continue to describe. So just by virtue of attending, actively listening, this is helping the person see things that they were not able to see. I'm sure it happened to us sometimes when we describe the problem to some of our friends, and maybe they reflect back some of what we said. Oh, you know what? I think I know what I need to do. Right? This is so powerful. It's not only in, so our role is not in solutions, not in fixing things, but in allowing the person to see. Just when we understand the problem and reflect it back, when we understand the person and reflect it back, this is helping us. This is helping them to really see things from a different lens, from a different perspective. And now we lost all perspective.
I just want to echo this, even outside of, like, to me, this is probably the most difficult problem you can describe, like the people feeling difficult, but even in like technical problems, like all of us deal with every like daily work. Yeah, people come to describe a problem, then the more you talk to them and the next thing what you're trying to do, you end up with a completely
Different. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
It's very powerful. It takes a lot of energy.
Yes. 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 It does.
I really want to be with this guy, but surely that should.
Going back very slow motion.
I mean, I don't even know if I really want to be with this guy, but surely that should be my choice. And it makes me just feel really sad. And I don't know if I really want to be with this guy, but surely that,
Trapped
yeah,
with the situation.
yeah, trapped. And actually quite sad because, I mean, I don't even know if I really want to be with this guy, but surely that should be my choice. And it makes me, yeah, I just feel really sad. And it's so frustrating because I don't have the freedom to do what I want. And I don't feel like any other people who are my age have this problem.
He feels
So you feel sad, you feel frustrated that you don't get to, you don't have as much freedom as you like, and you're kind of alone. Other people in your age don't have the same situation.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Pardon me.
You feel sad because despite not knowing if you want to be with this person, the feeling of your both being released and make them have a life of freedom that you don't necessarily want.
Yes. Yes. So the problem started as what? And parents and conflicting, and right now personal freedom. I don't have. I feel like my freedom. I don't know if I want to be with this guy first, or I want to be like I might be okay with the guy that my parents are setting me up to meet, but I need to have a say. I need to have a choice, and I feel that my choice is being taken, and I feel sad and frustrated. Right, and that's a common thing in adolescence. They want freedom, right? So this is a common theme that we could hear it, but in different ways or in different settings, in different scenarios. Okay.
and sad and frustrated.
Maybe there comes is this a good time? To me, the most one of the highlights is she thinks that she's the only one dealing with this kind of problem.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a good time, like during this initial conversation, at least to highlight what makes by question, like what makes you think you're alone there? Probably are so many other adolescents at the same time, but that's the way.
What do you think?
In my I think it's different from one person to another. But it's like I have two kids. One of them, I have to remind her that she's not alone. Right at the beginning of the conversation.
Mm-hmm. She's not alone.
She's not alone in whatever problem.
Okay. Okay.
The other one, if I say something like this, it's right away. I'm invalidating their problem. You're just like everybody else, right? So there is no good time, or I shouldn't say there is a good time, but it's only on case by case basis, and it's difficult to tell. You don't really know the person very well.
Yes. And right now, this is minute number 3. Is this a good time?
I honestly don't know, but it's just a thought, just something to think about.
Yeah.
I think it's
You select this point and you will pick on it, and you didn't hear the whole story yet. Maybe it's just like it might be just like a simple comment she mentioned, but like it's not very.
I agree. I'm not disputing that.
Yeah.
That's why I'm bringing the point. Sometimes specific type of people, I'm not going to say, I don't think there is one rule that applies to everybody. There are people that need to be reminded. This is what means active listening, what active listening means to them. It's like they need to be reminded they're not alone. Right?
But this is not active listening.
Yeah,
For
that's
someone to be reminded, that's not active listening.
true. Yeah, I understand. But to other people, to someone who comes with like a great deal of frustration, maybe step one to calm them down that your problem is not you're not unique. You're and that's why even people with significant problems like children with medical health issues, they want to connect with people with the same problem, just so they feel they're not alone. That their problem is not unique to them. That's why I'm not suggesting it has to happen. I'm asking a question. Is it a value make this point that you just need to know that?
The right time is important.
Yeah.
Right now, it doesn't look the right time because what because we have to list what needs to happen first before we do this, and the assumption is uh, I don't know the person fully yet. I'm not talking to my daughter, to my son. I'm not talking to someone that I know, but I'm talking to someone that I do not know, or maybe by time I would get to know, but still I don't know what happened to them during this last week or 2 weeks or month. So I do not want to let my assumptions kick in prematurely. That's number one. And number two, this might be kind of selective listening, as you know what, I picked up on this aspect, triggered me. So I have to be aware about my triggers so that I'm not triggered and and just run away with this. Number three is this seems to be more of a solution of you're not alone. It's more of a solution. And why do I say it's a solution? Because before a solution, there needs to be understanding, there needs to be empathy, there needs to be validations, which is part of empathy, before going into any kind of suggestions yet. Yes.
I think part of what
Yes.
what they're getting at, I think he's doing some sort of, I guess, what you could say comforting by just saying you understand, but
Yes.
I think that's all you need to do if you're because you're active listening. Like the person will recognize you're there with them because you understand what they're going through and what they're saying. So I
Yes.
think that's like you're not alone already.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
can do active listening and you can show them that you're there with them, but it doesn't need to be, hey, you need to calm down, I'm with you.
I didn't say come down.
Yeah.
Not just come down, just stating the facts that you think you're alone. What may I that's a question. You think you're the only person.
Mm.
Maybe it's good.
The other thing is, I think it also depends on is it the first time you hear of this exact problem or not. Because like she's saying, I'm the only one having this problem. You don't know the full length of the problem yet. Maybe if this is like the third or fourth time you're talking about the same topic, maybe you would remind her, like, yeah, you're not alone in this. But for the first time, you need to know the whole story first.
Definitely listening, paraphrasing by itself is very powerful and assuring. And again, this is here we're talking about only two skills yet: attending, and active listening. And then there comes a time for empathy and validations. Then comes the time for questions to know more about the problem, and then comes the time to readiness of the person to receive some discussion. So back and forth. So right now we're kind of focused on these two aspects only, and what is going to be required is to mainly focus on these skills. And when we do the role play, you're not asked to do any problem solution. You don't need to go into problem solution because This is very tricky, very tricky because we can prematurely jump into this. But what we need to do is to do the attending, active listening, empathy, and ask clarifying questions.
You only have a choice at your own.
Have this problem.
So you feel sad and frustrated. You only have a choice at your own.
Yeah, and that's really hard for me. It puts.
So you see what he did in the paraphrasing?
When it was repeated, I got confused.
Okay.
Yeah,
With the situation.
yeah, trapped and actually quite sad because I mean I don't even know if I really want to be with this guy, but surely that should be my choice, and it makes me, yeah, I just feel really sad, and it's so frustrating because I don't have the freedom to do what I want, and I don't feel like any other people who are my age have this problem.
So you feel sad and frustrated because you only have a choice at your own.
Yeah.
You didn't repeat the part that you told me.
Do you think this is intentional, or this is he missed it?
Like, he was spot on, so probably intentionally.
Pardon me?
He was spot on, like, throughout the discussion, so probably this was intentional.
And that's why I posit probably, maybe this is intentional. So he didn't go this way. He just focused on her feeling and the significant thought that she is feeling no freedom of choice. And this makes her so he is kind of repeating sad, frustrated, no freedom of choice. He did not go into necessarily, and this is paraphrasing, doesn't mean necessarily paraphrasing each and every little word that is being said, but what is the major feeling, what is the major action, meaning, and thoughts.
So it doesn't mean he doesn't let her drag him and not drag him, like he's not getting dragged into things.
He's not sidetracking, he's staying focused with her about feelings, freedom of choice. This is what she just said in the previous expression.
That's really hard for me. It puts pressure on something that just should be, you know, kind of a bit of fun. It makes it really serious and quite negative.
So this is a second vignette, same two people. You see the way they were sitting, like how they were sitting. So the setup from the beginning is kind of facing one another, eye contact, sitting square, resembling one another in the way they are sitting somehow, and now they're gonna be engaging in the discussion.
I'm having quite a few issues at the moment with my family. I'm finding that we're not getting on very well, and I'm not really sure what it's about, although I know that there's a cause to the problem, which is that I'm living at home at the moment out of financial necessity, and it's quite difficult for me because I have to be there, but I don't want to be there, and it's bringing up a lot of things for me.
What do you think?
Who wants to give this a try?
I'm not sure I quite understood the problem. I think she's living with her parents, and at the same time, she would like to move to live on her own or have her own place, but at the same time, she can because of financial problems. Because the case,
What's the any particular feelings? Let's listen to it again. it's common and it's okay to say to the person, I'm sorry, you know what, excuse me, I'm sorry, I got sidetracked in my mind, distracted. Do you mind just saying this again? That's not going to be negatively received. That's totally fine. What is going to be negatively received is thinking that I understand and going on, or kind of whatever, anything. But I mean, it is valid to say, you know what, please excuse me, I'm really sorry to ask you to do this. Do you mind, just for some reason I wasn't focused, can you repeat what you just said? That's perfectly fine. So I'm expressing my apology, my mind was not here, I didn't hear, and I would ask the person to repeat. And when I do this, again, maybe the person, maybe I sidetrack and I'm a coach practice for one reason or another, or the person really needed to compose the statement in a different way. Who knows?
So I'm having quite a few issues at the moment with my family. I'm finding that we're not getting on very well, and I'm not really sure what it's about, although I know that there's a cause to the problem, which is that I'm living at home at the moment out of financial necessity, and it's quite difficult for me because I have to be there, but I don't want to be there, and it's doing a lot of things for me.
What do you think?
So what is the main feeling that she has expressed? Did she express any feeling?
No.
Oh. She did not express feeling in this sentence, but what did she express?
Frustration from that, and that, like she also mentioned that she had.
Did she mention frustration?
No, but she mentioned quite a few problems. And she did not know what the core problem is, but probably because she doesn't understand.
So she has not expressed, it seems it's another state of confusion where she needs to really talk about it. Issues, so not getting along with family, it's still not clear. What is happening with not getting, and she has suggestion, I think, because I'm living with my parents, I cannot live away because I am financially constrained. So she has not yet articulated a lot, but it's okay to pause and kind of repeat what I heard. And if you notice, she kept on dragging a little bit, and he said, okay, meaning he wants to jump into to really paraphrase, because if he did not, he might really forget, and she would have to repeat all over from the beginning.
You have some problems with your family, you're not sure what they're about, and they might be somehow related to financial situation that you have to live there.
Yeah, I'm having to live at home. It's very difficult for young people at the moment. I don't think a lot of people can afford, well, definitely can't afford to buy a house, or can't afford the mortgage, or can't afford even rent. And it's quite, high outgoings.
Wonder how you feel about that.
You see what he's doing? He did not get any feelings yet. So this is a time when he asked the question about so what is the feeling? So he's trying to wrap his mind about the problem, and with the problem comes some sense of feeling. So to connect the dots, he has missing dots. So this is when it's okay. He said, you know what? I'm not jumping into. I'm not being selective. I'm not jumping into solution. Just want to understand, how do you feel about this? So he is helping her to kind of focus, narrow down her feelings.
I feel quite frustrated.
So now when we're hearing frustrated, yes,
Sad at times, a bit angry.
there is usually a power for when the person says their own feelings, and instead of me suggesting feelings for them. So it's nice to add, it would be helpful to add, so how does this make you feel? So what kind of feelings are you experiencing with this issue? Because when they articulate the feelings, so they are basically, you know how I'm shifting my head to see what's happening with my ear here, with my ear there. So I am looking for it myself. Does this make sense?
Trapped, like I don't know where to go, where to turn, or how to
You
deal with
feel quite angry and trapped at times. You don't know where to turn.
it. Yeah, like
He added angry, and he still, it's okay. He added angry. Maybe he guessed it. Maybe he felt it. So, did she said angry? Oh, so I'm sorry. So I missed this. Okay. So ايه ده؟ اكتب لسه معلش. كنت فوكس على frustrated، ما كنتش فوكس على angry.
yeah, I don't know what direction to go into to help sort out the issues, or I don't know, because I kind of can't totally always identify how I feel, although I do feel confused.
So you're saying sometimes you're able to identify how you feel, but a lot of times you feel confused.
Yeah, I feel confused, and yeah, I guess I don't know how to deal with those negative emotions, because they're quite strong. Feeling frustrated, it's like a kind of like an energy that I need to get rid of, and I don't know how to. And usually you go home to the place of comfort, the place to decompress, and I can't do that because that's the place that's causing the problems in the first place. So yeah, I don't really know how to approach feeling better about the situation, apart from moving out, and that's not possible. So I need to deal with the situation at hand. I feel a bit lost and helpless. It's so mundane. I go there every day, and I'm doing the same thing over and over again. There's no change. It's just like everything is just melding into this kind of beige world, and I don't feel fulfilled, and I don't know how to change it. And it seems that everywhere I turn, it's all reflecting the same back to me. Like there's nothing different in all areas of my life. I mean, I'm really talking about work, but it seems to leak out into the rest of my life. And I find that even when I go home, I feel like I'm doing the same old thing because I do at work. And I don't know why I'm there in the first place. I don't know how I got there. It's like I just woke up.
Okay, can I just check? Clarify what you're saying. So
Anyone would like to give this a shot?
Yeah.
Yes, it was a bit long. Yes. And if you notice, you notice the difference between the first vignette and the second and the third. Like the way it was articulated, the first vignette, kind of straightforward, right? But it's not common that we see things straightforward. It is common to see adolescents coming in a state of confusion. Sometimes they know what they're feeling, what they're experiencing, or sometimes they kind of, you know what, it's all over I cannot make sense, cannot even articulate it. Okay, and you remember there is a part when we said we need to be comfortable with ambiguity. So we might receive some ambiguous description. It's okay. It's okay. So he said, let me just clarify. Let me see if I understand this correctly. And he's going to take a stab at it and see if it makes sense. If she says yes, okay. If she doesn't, he's going to ask for. My life is boring.